Welcome back to the We Are Change weekly, sometimes daily. Sorry, I know I've been very busy. Daily show. No. Occasional. The We Are Change occasional show. What the hell really happened? Where we go over all the important news in one major news broadcast. And this week, we of course are going to be talking about the most important news, and that of course is Bill Maher and Kathy Griffin. Right? No. Hell no. Those are distractions. Butthurt people only react to them. They have no actual effect on your human life. Like the actual news this week of Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Donald Trump, Russia, Putin, ISIS, and everything else that has been happening all around the world. And yeah, of course, London, which of course suffered another terrorist attack this past Saturday as a van and knife attack by radical Islamic terrorists maimed and killed multiple innocent people on the London Bridge and Borough Market. And with these attacks becoming more frequent, the question has to be asked, where the hell is the multi-billion-dollar intelligence services that are used to spy on every single citizen? Why aren't they effective and used against terrorism attacks as the people who push these restrictive privacy-violating laws onto us claim they did? And I have to say, especially with this latest terrorist attack, the signs were all there. One of the terrorists, Quram Butt, was actually on a UK-based Channel 4 show called, and this is a brilliant name, The Jihadi Next Door. Hi, hello, this is the producer of the Channel 4 show called Jihadi Next Door, Mr. Kamur Butt. Would you like to be on our show? Kamur. Oh, hello. I'm horrible at accents. Apologies. Inshallah, brother. Okay, let me think about this. Okay. This is good for Twitter. Yes, Allah Akbar. Yes, I be on show. And yeah, that should have been the moment where the UK intelligence services that spies on everyone should have been like, you know what? This guy wants to be on a show called Jihadi Next Door. We should probably put him in jail. But no, they didn't. And now because of this graphic, horrendous terrorist attack, we have the Prime Minister of England, Theresa May, propositioning that the internet should be regulated. She is blaming the internet because of these terrorist attacks and wants more wide-sweeping government controls of the free flow of information, which they are now ready to seize in order to control the internet. Literally enabling the government to censor free speech on the internet. And it's not just going to be jihadis that they go after. If you look at the previous actions by the British government, they specifically target people who are supposedly Islamophobic and has arrested several of its citizens overnight for supposed racist comments. Now, I personally don't give a damn if you're Islamophobic, Christian-phobic, Buddhist-phobic, Jewish-phobic. I don't care who you are as an individual. The internet is the free flow of ideas and communication, and if the government ever has a hand in it, they will, of course, shut down any critics of theirs. And we're seeing this slippery slope being manufactured by a government that has armed Saudi Arabia, armed rebel groups inside of Libya and Syria, creating their very worst enemy, which came back into their country, which they opened their doors for up, and now are killing their own citizens in their country, making regular people like me and you face the consequences of that as they sit on their high horse, engineering this whole crisis, now taking more power away from you. Donald Trump, of course, after the terrorist attack in London, sent his condolences the best way he could, and that, of course, was offering up another hypocritical statement saying that we need to get down to the business of security for our people. If we don't get smart, it will only get worse. Which made everyone on the internet with a thinking brain say, hey, Donald, you should have thought about that before giving $460 billion worth of weapons to Saudi Arabia. And then this story just gets crazier. Theresa May, the British Prime Minister, is actually claiming that selling arms to Saudi Arabia will help keep the people on the streets of Britain safe. This woman is deranged, and at the same time she's doing that, she's also suppressing the release of a report on who actually finances terrorism in the UK. And guess what? The report focuses on Saudi Arabia. You know, the same Saudi Arabia that secret papers revealed was threatening the United Kingdom if they would stop selling them arms, that they would send more radical Islamic terrorists into their country. This is not a joke. A Saudi prince warned the British government that he would make it easier for terrorists to strike London if the British authorities did not halt their corruption investigation into the Saudi Arabian arms deal that they had. These people are knowingly threatening us, And now Theresa May is protecting them while taking away more power for people to criticize her for these actions. And for freak's sakes, I am hoping that this mentally deficient, hypocritical, fake conservative juggernaut does not win the upcoming elections. I don't even care who's running up against her. It's probably someone just as bad, regardless. Anyway, continuing on with more Saudi human rights violating Arabia news. In a geopolitical earthquake move, we have Bahrain, United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, and Egypt cutting all diplomatic ties with Qatar today because of them supposedly spreading, quote, chaos by, according to Saudi Arabia, funding terrorism. That's like the pot calling the kettle black. And now these countries have suspended air and sea travel to and from the Gulf Emirates, and Saudi Arabia is also shutting down the land crossing with Qatar, potentially even depriving that country of imports through its own land borders. Many foreign policy experts say that this is a move by Saudi Arabia in order to isolate Qatar so they could start a proxy war with Iran, because their original story makes no sense since Saudi Arabia is the state sponsor of ISIS, and now they're cutting ties with Qatar because they're supposedly the state sponsor of Jabhat al-Nusra, which is really just Al-Qaeda in Syria. And now, of course, this latest move by the Gulf states is really complicating the U.S. coalition building in the Middle East, but really all goes back to supposedly Qatar paying up to $1 billion to Iran and Al-Qaeda affiliates to release members of the Gulf states' royal family who were kidnapped in Iraq while on a hunting trip. And supposedly there was a secret deal between Qatar that allegedly triggered these Gulf states to have their dramatic decision to cut off all ties with Qatar. So yeah, supposedly because of this was the last straw on the camel's back, and now we'll have to see if Qatar will close any ties with Iran, as they just have been isolated by their Gulf neighbor states. A move triggered by Saudi Arabia, which I again have to tell you, even in Hillary Clinton's own email that was leaked, that this is the same country, Saudi Arabia, that according to Hillary Clinton provided clandestine financial and logistic support to ISIS and other radical Sunni groups. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is real. I'll link the WikiLeaks email down below so you could actually verify it yourself. But you know what? All of this is irrelevant. You know why? Because Russia. And just like our good media manipulator masters focus us on how evil Russia is and how we need to fight them, that stuff doesn't really matter at all. It's not even worth a mention by them. And the propaganda against Russia is being turned at an all-time high, as NBC News tweeted, quote, exclusive, Putin does not deny having compromising information on President Trump in interview with Megyn Kelly. And of course, this alleged clickbait tweet was absolutely wrong. And then 30 minutes later, they posted a retraction saying, correction, Putin denies having compromising information about President Trump, calls it nonsense. Those are very two different titles. One of them plays along with the narrative that they have been pushing. And as you can see, even by the retweets, there is incentive for them to push this narrative, as they have been for the last few months. And I have to say, after watching the full Megyn Kelly interview with Vladimir Putin, it was embarrassing. Oh yeah, also on a side note, Vladimir Putin also brought up how the deep state could have potentially even killed JFK and planted this fake Russian news story, which I found fascinating for him to even bring up on national American television. And now in other dumbass entitled anchor news, we have Reza Aslan, the man who is best known for eating a human brain on a CNN TV show. Literally, that's all he's known for. He's also a self-identified Muslim who called for the rape of a congressman. Previously before, he's making more outlandish statements right now on Twitter, and of course, he is the religious to-go guy for CNN. And other self-sabotaging and self-imploding on yourself news, we have this story from Anti-Media, who sent out a reporter to their recent alt-right versus Antifa rally in Portland. And even though Anti-Media has been very critical of the alt-right and the pro-Donald Trump movement, Antifa beat up their reporter, bloodied him up, stole his equipment, and then tasered him, leaving him bloodied and robbed. And I think this story speaks for itself and shows you the dangers that happen when you go out there and cover these very heated political rallies, where of course journalists have to put their safety on the line just to show you and cover what actually is happening there. And now finally, in some positive news, we have Nevada that disobeyed the federal government and passed a revolutionary law to actually grow commercial hemp in that state, which I kind of think is a half troll because Nevada is mainly desert. But anyway, congratulations, Nevada, and the rest of the 49 states. Yeah, we're still screwed with dumb federal regulations, which Donald Trump has promised to be stricter on, which makes absolutely no sense. So yeah, that is the news for this very moment. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked it, share it with your friends and family members. And don't forget, if you want to see this operation grow and expand, donate to us on patreon.com/WeAreChange. We're at a very key pivotal phase in our news organization where we're thinking about hiring new journalists, new video presenters. And if you want to see that happen, we need your help and participation. I love you guys. Thank you again so much for watching. Stay tuned. We're going to have a lot more news coming here your way on youtube.com/WeAreChange.